All right, today we're going to dig into something really powerful. A technique that's practically ancient for making complicated stuff actually stick in your brain. And really, it all boils down to one simple question.
So think about it for just a second. What really makes a lesson unforgettable for you? I mean, was it ever a dry list of facts you had to cram for some test? I'm guessing not. Was it maybe something else? Something with a little more, drama.
So, you've got two options, right? On one side, a boring list of words. On the other, a heroic quest. I mean, which one are you really going to remember? It's a no-brainer, right? And that's the core idea we're going to unpack today. The incredible power of story to make learning feel, well, effortless and actually engaging. And to show you exactly how this works, we're going to use a perfect case study. It's a script called The Quest for the Moon's Nectar, and it offers just a brilliant, elegant solution to this exact problem.
Okay, so the basic idea here is actually really simple, but it's also incredibly profound. Think about it. Our brains are literally hardwired for stories. It's how we've passed down knowledge for thousands and thousands of years. Stories give us context, they give us emotion, they provide a framework that a bunch of disconnected facts just can't ever compete with.
So what we're going to do is deconstruct this script piece by piece to see exactly how this amazing formula works. It's truly a masterclass in how you can turn what would be a boring vocabulary list into a full-blown adventure.
Right. Every great story needs that hook, that call to adventure. And this script, well, it doesn't waste any time at all. It starts embedding its first lessons right there in the introduction. So boom. Right away, we've got our central conflict. The moon is fading. That's a huge problem, a calamity that's causing anguish across the land. See, we're not just being told the definitions, we're actually feeling the stakes. The world is in this terrible, difficult situation, a plight, and it's just crying out for a hero to fix it.
And of course, what's a good story without a villain? So let's meet Ritika. Now, the script could have just said she's greedy, but it doesn't. It gives her motivation a much more powerful, specific name. She's driven by avarice.
And this is where the magic really happens. The story takes this abstract concept and makes it totally concrete. Avarice isn't just a word on a list anymore. No, it's the driving force behind a demoness who literally stole the light from the moon. All of a sudden, this big, complex word, it has a face.
And then, as a perfect contrast, we meet our hero, Aruna. She's defined by her virtues. She's got the sagacity, the wisdom, to figure out what's going on, and she has the valor to actually face the danger. So you see, the story isn't just teaching us words, it's building this entire moral framework around them, and that's what makes them stick.
Okay, moving on. A hero's journey is, of course, all about the trials, the obstacles. And this is where the script gets even more clever, because it designs each one of those obstacles to represent another abstract concept.
So, here's Aruna's path, laid out step by step. But you gotta understand, these aren't just plot points. Nope. Each and every step is a cleverly designed test, and each one is meant to teach a new concept. In this story, the journey is the lesson.
So here we go, the first big test. Deep in the forest, Raktika shows up and tries to tempt Aruna. And she doesn't just offer her some stuff, no, she offers a very specific kind of temptation, which perfectly sets up our next vocabulary word.
And boom, just like that, the word opulence becomes a physical obstacle in the story. It's not a word on a flashcard anymore. It's this tangible, corrupting force that our hero has to actively reject. The story is forcing us to really grapple with its meaning on a moral level.
So how does Aruna fight back against this temptation? She resists with tenacity, with pure, persistent determination. And her success, it's not just a win for the good guys. It's a living demonstration of what tenacity actually looks like in action. And by doing this, she also exposes the villain's folly, her foolishness, and her insane, excessive pride, which we call hubris. Then the stakes get even higher. We reach the climax. Aruna has to face this guardian, and the physical threat is described with these really powerful emotional words. You can almost feel its ferocity, that savage intensity, and its rancor, which is just this deep, ugly bitterness.
But here's the thing.
Aruna doesn't win by just being stronger. She doesn't use brute force. She wins with an inner quality, a kind of mental and emotional strength in the face of all this adversity. The story gives this quality a name, fortitude. And because you see her demonstrate it, you don't just learn the word, you actually understand it.
All right, now let's get to what I think is the most brilliant part of this entire formula. The characters themselves. They aren't just, people in a story. They are walking, talking, living embodiments of the very ideas we're supposed to be learning.
This right here, this is the core teaching strategy. It's so clever. The characters don't just have these traits, they are the definitions. Aruna literally embodies rectitude, fortitude, and sagacity. And Raktika, she's the living personification of avarice, malice, and hubris. So their conflict, it's not just a simple hero versus villain fight. It's a literal battle between these big ideas.
Okay, so Aruna finishes her quest, she gets the nectar, story's over. Or is it? After the tale is told, what's the real nectar for us, the audience? What's the ultimate takeaway here?
Well, the story wraps up with the moon being restored and prosperity returning to the land. But this isn't just your standard happy ending. It's the narrative reward. It's the story showing us, not just telling us, that virtues like sagacity and fortitude lead to good things, to success, while vices like avarice and hubris only lead to ruin.
And that right there is why this storytelling formula is so incredibly powerful. It gives us context. It creates these emotional hooks that sear things into our memory. It makes abstract ideas totally tangible. It takes learning from being a chore and turns it into a genuine adventure, showing you what virtues and vices look like in a way you can see, you can feel, and you can truly finally understand.
And that's the real magic, isn't it? Because now that you see this formula, you're going to start seeing it everywhere, in movies you watch, in books you read, even in the stories from history. Every single story is basically a lesson, just waiting for you to unpack it. So the only question left is, what nectar of wisdom are you going to find in the next story you hear?